Was there anybody else that affected you in your service that really pushed you towards the church?
Well,
I mean, other than...
well, of course, being ordained as a deacon, that's helped me to come closer.
Yes.
Joining Sunday school, that's helped me to become closer. Reading about the saints' life, that's helped me a lot, again, to be more closer.
How so? How were you closer? Why were they your favorites? Why those three in particular were your favorites? And yeah, like, why did they touch you the most?
Well, the three areas helped me a lot in knowing about the spirituality of our church, our richness about the spirituality of our church. Since also, as I told you in the beginning, I was brought up in a Catholic school. I used to go to Catholic churches too. So comparing between the two churches, I found that I am more in peace and so content and more satisfied when I am in my church, through the hymns, through the teachings, through the theology of our church, through the richness of the biographies of the saints of our church. Definitely this has brought me closer to the church. And when I read about St. Anthony the Great, who was very rich, was very young, very energetic, then leave everything and goes to the desert and never regret it. Well, there is something mysterious there then. Okay, forget about St. Anthony. How about St. Arsenius, who was the mentor or the teacher of the king's sons, and how he had a very lavish type of life. And he was next to the king, and he was living in Rome. Yani he can't ask for any more lavish type of life or even high standard. And even St. Arsenius, felt still very hungry, very thirsty, and he never found himself content until he left everything, went to Egypt, to the desert of Egypt, and there he became content. Again, it's just an amazing thing. Yani. What a different type of life.
Yeah.
And again, we never heard that St. Arsenius also regretted it or went back again to Rome. Never.
No.
So all these type of things affected me and helped me to think seriously about the monastic life.
Who was the first bishop that you had met that really had an influence on you?
First bishop was Amba Daniel, the Metropolitan of Khartoum. Before he was becoming a metropolitan, he was called Abuna Dumagius al-Antoni. And he was the first young Sudanese chap to become a monk.
Really?
So he was like a pioneer from among the youth who lived in Sudan. Before him, we had all the monks or the bishops coming from Egypt. But having Amba Daniel being the first youth to become a first monk and a priest and a bishop, that impressed me much. Taught me many things. And so, yeah, that was the first bishop or metropolitan that touched my heart. Then I left Sudan, came to Australia. I can say the second bishop was Bishop Samuel, the one who, as I said, passed away at the time of Sadat. He is the one who ordained me at the year 72 as an Ipsaltus. Then at 73 he came again to Australia and he ordained me as an Agnostus. And then he passed away. Then 75 we had Bishop Agassen, late Bishop Agassen. We had Bishop Metropolitan Bachomius, and so on.
So there's many, I mean, things.
Australia became
from
very
that first one. What eventually pushed you to become a monk? What or who pushed you to become a monk?
Right. As I just mentioned, that reading about the saints, and in particular these three ones, Saint Moses the Black, Saint Anthony, and Saint Arsenius, each one of them impressed me in a different way. That really touched my heart, and I felt that it is a shortcut to heaven. It is the monastic life. Shortcut.
A great way to put it.
Definitely, it's a shortcut. Secondly, when I hear about the life of these people before and after, then I say definitely in this monastic life there's lots of mysterious things. So let me try it. Why not? And I prayed to God,
Great.
would it be ever be that I had a chance to become a monk? So I had that desire. I was then 24 years old. Actually, not, the desire I had when I was about 20 years old. Then at the 26, then I became a monk.
So tell us a little bit about your first days in the monastery. What was it like? Any stories, interesting story?
It was very peaceful. I had a good time, very enjoyable time. I was lucky to start at Saint Bishoy monastery, because His Holiness, after he agreed with me to take me to St. Anthony Monastery to become a monk there, he said to me, before you go to St. Anthony Monastery, I want you to go for a while at St. Bishoy Monastery, where there is Bishop Ambar Sarabamon, the abbot there, and he will teach you and he will guide you and he will help you. I said, this is great. So I started there. At that time, there were lots of monks whom now they are all bishops now. At that time, they were so beautiful people. They really gave me a good push or a good example for the monastic life. And they really helped me to go through these first stages of my monastic life. So I stayed there for about 6 months until we became 7 brothers. Then His Holiness took us to St. Anthony to ordain us there at St. Anthony Monastery. So I was really happy and I was really lucky and I enjoyed it very, very much. It was not hard to me at all. It was very enjoyable, and until now I can still remember it. And I'm very also grateful to Bishop Amba Sarabamon, whom is a great father. And he is still, until now, he's my confession father, Bishop Sarabamon.
So you left the monastery of Saint Bishoy just to be ordained in the.
Yeah,
okay.
That was the plan. There was a plan
Okay.
by His Holiness. He said to me, I would like to ordain you and other young people at St. Anthony Monastery. But before we go to St. Anthony, I want you to go and stay for a while at St. Bishoy. I said, this is great. So I didn't know which is which anyhow, and I just came from Australia.
Yeah.
Makes no difference to me.
Yeah.
So whatever His Holiness asked me to do, I said, great. And even His Holiness, even before sending me to St. Bishoy Monastery, he asked me to work with him at his office, as a secretary, to answer phones and to do some filings and to do some translations. Because at that time I know very well Arabic language and also English language. So I helped in translation. So I was very close to His Holiness. I stayed with His Holiness for about nearly 5 weeks. And every time he goes to the monastery, I go with him to the monastery. Came back to Cairo together. So until, after the 5th week, he said to me, next time when we go, bring your bag with you, because you're going to go stay there at St. Bishoy for a while. I said, good, so we're going to start serious now. So I started with His Holiness, then 6 months at St. Bishoy, and then being moved to St. Anthony to be ordained to be consecrated as a monk, and then as a priest later on.
So which of the old fathers affected you the most at the monastery of St. Anthony?
At that time, there were 2 types of fathers, very, very, very old fathers, and also the young ones, young fathers, whom they are before us. Of the young ones is Abuna Bishoy and Abuna Maximos, and Abuna Athanasius and Abuna Benjamin. Those are the monks who are younger in age before us in St. Anthony. Then there are the older ones. I remember very well Abuna the Abbot at that time was Abuna Joachim El-Antoni. I had to deal with him very close because a part of my service in the monastery was to look after the accountancy or the treasurer. As a treasurer, I was the treasurer.
The money, the going in.
Yeah, dealing with money and things like this, and also looking after the foreigners who used to come and visit the monastery. So I was very close to Abuna de Robeta, and he was a great man, and he taught me many nice things. Very committed man, Although he was very old in the age, like, and he used to wake up very early, attend the tasbihah, and after tasbihah never goes back to sleep. He keeps on and on and on,
Wow.
working and doing things. An amazing man. I really loved him, but unfortunately I didn't stay much in the monastery. A year later, they sent me back to Australia. So yeah, but Father Joachim Al-Antoni was one of the fathers. We shouldn't forget Abuna Al-Rais. We can say the abbot and then assistant. So yeah, we can say the main abbot, he was Abuna Bas Khairon Al-Antoni, he was the abbot. Then Abuna Joachim, maybe you can say he's the assistant to the abbot. Abuna Bas Khairon is a very saintly man. And maybe, as you know, Abuna Bas Khairon was the brother of Abuna Justus Al-Antoni. Abuna Justus the saint. So Abuna Bas Khairon also, he was a very saintly man, very simple man. He never talks much, but you can learn from his quietness, from his simplicity, from his love, from his smile, from his childish face. Amazing man. But again, as I said, I didn't stay much. I didn't really enjoy these people much. This is a big story again. They found themselves without any priest there.